promise for patients with other cancers as well. Funding more than 300 active research programs, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society needs your support. To help fund the next breakthrough, or perhaps even a cure, go to LLS.org or call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org and help save lives, not someday, but today.
You secure your home, you lock your car, but what do you do to protect your valuables at work? In times like these, crime can happen anywhere, at any time. Taking some simple preventive measures in your workplace can help cut down on theft, scams, and even physical assault. Keep your purse, wallet, and keys locked in a drawer or closet. Leaving your valuables unattended for even a few moments could create an opportunity for a thief. Visitors should be made to check in at your front desk, wear a name badge, and be escorted to their destination. Unidentified persons in your workplace should be reported immediately. Report faulty locks, broken windows, and burned out lights. Use caution when entering stairwells, restrooms, elevators, and parking garages. If you notice an employee acting irrationally, tell your employer. To learn more on how to keep your workplace safe, visit ncpc.org. That's ncpc.org. Crime prevention at work. It works. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Serving overseas was just the beginning. We might be home from war, but our mission continues in communities all across the country. It's why we're out there in times of peace and crisis, providing meals to the hungry and supplies to the sick. It's why we're giving strength to those who are too weak and bringing resources to those without them. Service doesn't stop when we're done serving. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org. No man, no woman, no one left behind. For the VFW, it's a credo that stands long after our fighting days are over, because our service never stops. We're still serving, which is why we pledge to help our own, no matter where they are or when they need us. Standing in lockstep with those who stood so courageously for everyone else. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org.
Panama City Sports Monster. Powered by Pepsi. WGS Excellent Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Pushed away and intercepted. Ball game.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The fairy tale continues.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
And the breakthrough for the U.S.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Rip Rip Radio Room. I miss my dog, though, man. Such is so weird not having old school in here.
Yeah,
it feels like a Friday.
I guess I took his spot. I guess I took his seat.
You did take his seat. You didn't take my man's spot though.
If you want to take his spot, you better start ironing my laundry.
Well, okay.
ASAP. My clothes are wrinkly.
You live out in Mariana. I don't know if I can make that haul.
It's all good.
That's a long haul though.
It is a long haul.
But maybe the price could be worth it.
Hey.
Maybe.
How much would you charge?
$4 an hour. I would only charge you.
Hey, 11 more, and you can make minimum wage. Welcome into the Rip Grip Radio Room. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs today, and big news for our fellows up in Mariana and Chipley. Let the people know that we're now on 102.1 in that area. 104.3 still staying the same, but we've added another signal to our. They're to the north, right? Yeah, our neighbors to the north.
Yeah, northwest. I mean, well, kind of
still northwest Florida.
Yeah,
even more so northwest Florida, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, absolutely. So
and that's gonna be where you're gonna be.
The home of the tribal chief.
The home of the tribal chief, and you're moving there, man. So, well, you already halfway moved there.
Tribal chief. That's me.
When did you come up with that nickname?
I don't know.
All right, so the tribal chief, David Hayes and Drew Gorman are going at it today, and so how about Bruce Arians retiring? What did you guys see from that man? I I'm missing old school already over here, dying with the cameras, guys. It's like I've gotten so used to not doing those and just being able to focus, and I feel like that's just been ripped away. So thanks a lot, old school.
Can't you just put one view on all three of us?
Yeah, that's what I just
That's
did.
what he's got.
That's
a
what I
smart
just did.
thing
It's over
to
here.
do.
But at
without a
first, I
doubt.
was having it just on me. You guys are over there talking, and I'm like forgetting about it.
But
All right.
You can see like the top of Kyle's head.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the best side of me. Some
Oh
would
my
say.
gosh. Hey, but you can, and then also you can see the picture
Oh, yeah.
of
Oh,
Barstool
it's
doing
cool.
the laundry, the going away present. But Bruce Arians retiring, Todd Bowles taking over. Let's try to unpack this a little bit. What do you got? Do you think this was Brady? Was this a decision that was already made before Brady came back? Is there? Give me some speculation here. Speculate a little bit for me, Kyle.
Yeah, I would say that this is Tom Brady channeling his inner LeBron James. I would say that this is maybe he was like, I want to go to the Miami Dolphins unless you make this move. Because we saw the rumors come out last week that Tom Brady wanted to be traded to the Miami Dolphins. Who knows if it was true? Who knows if it was a smoke screen, smoke and mirrors, if you will. But here we are. Bruce Arians is going to the front office, and Todd Bowles is taking over. Now you could also look at it from a perspective, if you will, that maybe this is why Todd Bowles did not take a head coaching job this year.
Yeah, and also something that we had talked about whenever it was announced that Todd Bowles was taking over and not going to be Byron Leftwich. Kyle had posed a question to me and Nick. We're like, hey, what on that team makes you want to say, let me put a defensive-minded head coach up there?
Mm-hmm.
And immediately my thought was, well, let Brady run his thing.
Yeah.
Do his own thing, and then rock and roll, just straighten up that defense, and you'll be right back to number one.
And Todd Bowles has done a great job. I mean, it could have went either coordinator that he would have given this to, be it Byron Leftwich or Todd Bowles. They're getting the keys to the Lambo, man. You know what I mean? They've got the OC already. Byron Leftwich's stock has been rising to such a tune because of who his quarterback is. So I think it's a great move as well for just Todd Bowles, right? Bruce Arians right here is kind of, in a sense, being a bigger man because he can hold on to it, get another Super Bowl that's really the product of Tom Brady coming to Tampa Bay. Or you could try to get your organization, the team that you're last coaching with and now going to be in a front office role, try to get them in the trajectory for the long haul. What can we do outside of Brady? Because there's also a chance. Let's say that Bruce Arians underperformed this year. Let's just say Tom Brady has a flat year. They underperform, miss the playoffs, and then Bruce Arians is out the door. That does not set up. It doesn't help Todd Bowles get the job, but this does.
I hate to cut you off, but usually when a head coach gets fired, the rest of that staff's gone too.
Right. Now, when they part amicably, like Sean Payton, Dennis Allen. But if Sean Payton was fired...
Oh, the kit and caboodle, they're all gone.
Yeah.
I never knew that Dennis Allen... Did you know this, that Dennis Allen was the head coach of the Raiders for 2 years? I had no idea about that. There was a post.
Terrible.
There was a post on Twitter yesterday, and it was, name a forgotten head coach. And I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking, and so everyone that pops in my head, I'm like, well, I didn't forget that he was a head coach because obviously I'm remembering right now, And so I start reading the comments to try to give me some fuel for thought or food for thought. And one of the guys posted Dennis Allen with the Raiders, and I comment on like, that's the current head coach for the Saints, right? And so we get into a little conversation about that, but I had no idea that he was a coach for the Raiders. Do you? So you're feeling as a Saints fan, Drew? We have a lot of Saints listeners. What's the outlook for you guys this year?
To me, I loved it. I loved keeping it. It gave us a little bit of continuity with it. Kept things somewhat of the same. He kept some of the same people. Definitely keeping that defense the same. The defense was the better part of our team. We also kept the same offensive coordinator with Pete Carmichael. So being able to keep that continuity with it and keep somewhat of the same stuff. Obviously, we're not going to run the exact same stuff like what we were with Sean Payton, but it's going to have a little bit of that flair to it. We'll allow Pete Carmichael to have his own flair to it. So I don't think we're going to be Super Bowl contenders, but I definitely believe we'll be fighting for a wild card spot, fighting for that top spot, because for whatever reason, Brady can't beat the Saints.
Caveman said, "I don't hate to cut anybody off."
No, he doesn't.
I don't care.
Not at all.
For the Saints, like from an outsider perspective, I think if you were gonna promote from within, Dennis Allen was definitely 100% the right choice. I personally think they should have gone out and got an offensive-minded head coach because their defense has been their strength. Why would you want? You need to work on the other things at this point. Like the Dolphins, their defense was great. They went and got an offensive-minded head coach now. Now we'll see what the Dolphins are able to do. We've seen what they've done in this offseason.
Well, let's say Jameis Winston doesn't have a great year.
Red Rifle, let's go.
Well, not just that, but I'm saying now he's got a better excuse than if they were to have an offensive-minded coach.
I mean,
are you excited for Jameis to get, round 2 with the Saints here, round 3 essentially, and this year he's going in announced as the starter rather than a week before we play Green Bay, hey, Jameis Winston's going to be our starting quarterback this year. Like, duh. You're really going to put Taysom Hill out there? Come on, man.
I am excited for him because this is obviously last year was his quote-unquote second chance, but this will be his real second chance because hopefully he'll be able to stay healthy for the whole year. The Buccaneers never attempted to build around Jameis Winston.
Right.
They never even gave him a fair chance to – I mean, what he did throw the 30 picks, but he also threw for 5,000 yards that year. And
more times that you put the ball in the air, the approach.
Right.
When Bruce Arians took over, they were air raid. When Tom Brady comes, it's a little bit more balanced. Oh, wow, Leonard Fournette actually is a pretty good back in the NFL. Why? Because they utilize it the correct way. And Tom Brady knows better than anybody in this world, in my opinion, that throwing the ball all over the football field is not necessarily like, yeah, you want a great quarterback, but slinging it around the field for the entire game without a balanced attack is not the recipe for success for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and around the same time where Jameis got hurt last year, he had like 14 or 15 touchdowns and only 3 or 4 interceptions. So he was having a good to great year
with
just being
subpar receivers, if I can add that in.
Being able to build upon that. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. Yeah, we might go for a rebuild. This might be a tough year, but hey, the quarterback crop next year is looking great. We only signed Winston to a 2-year deal, but me as a Saints fan, I really, really like Winston.
Yeah.
And I want to build around him and let him go. I'm glad it looks like Michael Thomas is refocused. It's been such a crazy offseason. Everybody forgets that Alvin Kamara got arrested
today.
But I haven't heard any word about what's going on in there. I think he has a court date in April. So once that happens, I think we'll know more. But we're figuring things out. I think we'll be back to good.
I'm just gonna throw this out there that Calvin Ridley is suspended for a full season for a parlay. Alvin Kamara should not touch the field in 2022.
Especially with the video that's come out. But that's my problem with that, is that every other person who's been suspended, when was the last time, outside of maybe Josh Gordon, that a guy got suspended for the entire year?
That's tough.
And why is it? It's because it affects the image of the NFL more so, and I don't know how they think this. I don't know how the NFL comes to the conclusion that affects your brand more than what the guys who are beating up women or beating up other men for that point. It should be, honestly, in my opinion, when you're a professional athlete, it should be treated the same as a mixed martial artist fighting a regular old average Joe. Like, you should know better. Now, I also get that there's situations that you get put in where you get treated almost egged on because of your status. Okay, I understand that. But it doesn't take you and a bunch of your posse to take out one dude in an elevator, a la, or it wasn't. Yeah, it was at an elevator. I'm getting confused with Ray Rice there.
We are in a...
That was also an elevator.
Yeah, that's what...
We are in a society now where, and I know I got an Astros fan sitting to my left, and I don't know if we're going to have time to go into the... Yeah, we do have time to go into the Cashman stuff.
Yeah.
We're in a society now where Pete Rose is banned for life for gambling or for betting on his own team. And these dudes, I'll just say, almost forgot I was on a control radio station here. And these guys are being worshipped as 2017 World Series champions.
I don't know if I'd say worshipped, because everyone looks at it as an asterisk year.
You are being recognized.
Still,
because
I understand
in the history books, there's no asterisk.
Right.
Valid.
Is where I'm going with that. I don't mean obviously by the fans. everybody except Astros fans.
But as the great Al Davis said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I mean, that's a good point. But this is the example of the pot calling the kettle black. Right here with Cashman coming out saying our playoff drought is due, or our not winning a series in the playoffs is due to what happened in 2017. You haven't been to a World Series first off since 2009, okay? On top of that, we're about to get a public expose of what you guys had going on. Still ain't heard very much about the Red Sox, but let's not deny the facts that these three squads were doing something. Now, hey, we've also heard murmurs of the Colorado Rockies. I wouldn't be surprised for this to be a widespread baseball thing, and that would be terrible, but I wouldn't be surprised.
If I'm gonna steal signs, I better win the World Series.
Yeah.
I better not be the Rockies.
Yeah, there's
Amen.
I'm just saying.
from what I've read and from what I've seen, it's a widespread thing. Like, it's not just one or two, maybe three teams. Like, every team in the MLB, to an extent, is doing not necessarily just the sign stealing.
Yeah.
But they have a little bit of everything going into it. It's just to the extent that it was taken.
Well, there is legal sign stealing.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah.
Right, but it's to the extent that y'all took it is a different
You
conversation.
cannot use technology to steal signs.
Yeah.
If you've got guys who are sitting out there watching and you're doing it with the human element, then that's the game of baseball, you know. But when you use technology, you're taking it to a whole nother level, and who know? That was a sad thing for the sport, but
It's terrible.
Even that 2017 year, the Yankees were caught with using the Apple Watch.
I'm just so confused as why Cashman is coming out and trying to blame the Yankees' lack of success on Astros cheating.
Was silly question? I really don't keep up with baseball like I like to try to admit or try to pretend like I do. Was Cashman the manager of the Yankees in 2017?
GM.
Was he? I'm sorry. Was he the GM?
I believe so.
He's been GM and vice president since 1998. I didn't know that off the top of my head.
I didn't know he's been there that long.
Quick little Google search.
Him and Steinbrenner have been there for like ever.
Yeah.
Who's the Yankees manager right now? Is it still Aaron Boone?
Yeah.
Because I know they were talking about moving off of him last year.
I think they stayed with him.
I think they did give him
one more year.
Yeah, one more year because Joe Girardi's now with the Phillies, right? Yeah, he's with the Phillies.
I don't, caveman. I've never tried to say that I know anything about baseball. I tell people all the time.
Aaron Boone.
Yeah, it's Aaron Boone. With players that played in our generation growing up, I always kind of root for those guys as coaches. Even a guy like Alex Cora, right? Because, hey, he was someone fun. But now I don't root for him as much because he's the ringleader of what was going on in Houston.
I think this is where you were going with it, but that was 2017 was Girardi's last year.
Joe Girardi, that's what I was saying.
2017 was his last year, and then in 2018, that's where they picked up Boone.
Okay. I knew that they had a coach that year that got canned after that, or very close to that. And no...
In that sense, I do. In that sense, I do definitely feel. I feel for Joe Girardi because, like, you take your team to the playoffs to the ALCS and then lose to a team that has been proven to have cheated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel, and then you lost your job. Like,
well, he's in a good position now with the Phillies in a place that isn't as magnify, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like with the press, the media in New York, and the things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, compared to Philly, where it's still rough.
The fans suck.
Everything
else.
Yeah, but they're. I think that they give you a little bit of a longer leash in Philly, like because they love you.
Hey, old school here from the Afternoon Underdogs, and I am issuing the following decree: men, you're allowed a maximum of one selfie per year. You get one.
Literally don't know what's happening.
We now resume regular programming on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bro, ghosts are real.
Old school. Oh my goodness.
Ghosts are real. Like if you were to ask me a few minutes ago what was more real, ghosts or aliens, I probably would have said aliens. Nah,
nope.
It's ghosts. 100%, man.
Well, I need a minute to
to process that.
What? Did it get cold here?
Yeah, right. All right, we're gonna go to a break and see if someone left the door open or something.
Weather forecast overnight. The weather will settle down overnight. Mostly cloudy skies around 58. Southwest wind becoming northwest 10 to 15. A north wind at 10 miles per hour Friday, partly to mostly sunny in the mid-70s. Showers expected Saturday, clearing Sunday. You'll be in the 70s over the course of the weekend. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Alford Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. Who will be this year's Cinderella? ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament. Sponsored locally by
Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Bill Bird Kia, and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick and all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft Sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-430-4602. 800-430-4602. 800-430-4602. That's 800-430-4602.
His cologne is made out of tiger blood. He's seen every Vin Diesel movie and... winning. He's dating your daughter. David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Radio Room, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, we are back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and you can watch us on Blab TV. You can get that channel on your Fire Stick TV, Fire TV, or your Roku. And we're also now in Marianna. We're in Chipley and Bonifay on 102.1. Tell your friends and tell your family. Shoot, you can even tell your enemies. That's all good with me. Man, I am struggling with the new responsibilities. There's just so many of them right now piled up. So let's get into, we got our goat of goats, and
yes, sir.
We've had some comments that we've kind of had some fun with. I love the conversation that these polls drive, you know?
It's definitely sparked exactly what we thought it would going in. A lot of interaction. We've been a little disappointed at times with some of the results, but with that being said, disagreement leads to compromise, and compromise leads to friendships. And I've gained some respect for a couple people coming out of this, and I've found that a couple people are just a little more off the rocker than I thought.
Yeah, it's definitely done exactly what we wanted, what we kind of predicted, and it's gone well, I wouldn't say exactly how we wanted, but
No.
Or how we planned. But hey, that's what happens when you open it up to the public and let everyone else choose.
No doubt about it. So let's read off some of these comments and just kind of conversate about them. Sam Peebles says, and he says, this group doesn't have a ton of baseball fans, I see.
I believe this comment was in response to Muhammad Ali beating Nolan Ryan.
Yes.
That's a terrible take, Sam.
Or it could have been Kobe Bryant over Willie Mays, possibly.
It may have been. I think it was on the post where both of them.
Okay.
So it was like Kobe defeats Willie
Yeah,
Mays.
because you were given the comment like, hey, who won? And yeah.
It's not a terrible. The reason why it's a terrible take, though, which Sam does not have many terrible takes.
He knows what he's saying.
It is because there's been some baseball players move on in this group just on the fact of the people who love baseball.
Yeah. Let me tell you how close Mike Trout, who is still playing, who has like a career 196 batting average in the playoffs, and has really he's been great. And maybe he can end his career as the GOAT of baseball. How close he was to knocking off an undefeated boxer in Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
In this tournament. Ken Griffey Jr., I'll let you take that one because you're more passionate about that one than I am. Ken Griffey Jr.'s play-in matchup.
Dear God, Michael Johnson. How do you, Michael Johnson, arguably, he was Usain Bolt before Usain Bolt.
Right.
And everybody crowns Usain Bolt now.
Well, the difference, one of the glaring differences is that Michael Johnson's American and Usain Bolt's Jamaican.
Well, like Caveman Rick saying, recency bias is unfortunately takes over in a lot of this right now. So everybody's looking. Oh yeah, I grew up watching Ken Griffey Jr. That swing was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, his swing was great. He hit a lot of home runs. He played his position to a T. Did what he needed to do. He was a great ball player. But Michael Johnson, no love.
But why do you put polls up? If I can ask this, because we're really just responding to the comment here. There's a lot of baseball fans in the group, but you don't put a poll up if you know the answer,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of the beauty of this is some of us might like baseball, love baseball, and some of us never pay attention to the Olympics. So if I don't pay attention to it, unless I go do the research, which is not required. Begged of, you know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, that's what I find so beautiful about this thing is someone can make this stupid decision like Bo Jackson over Leo Messi to move on, right? So the guys are chuckling
he
like
just
that.
Added himself.
That's me. I'm the one who did that. And it's crazy because I'm not even going to lie to you. Sunday night laying in bed, I was like, I even set it up. Going through the criteria, it was 3-2 Messi, and I still said, you know what? And I used my bias, and I went Bo Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the fun thing about this, though, is that all right, so the next one, that'll segue me into Austin Foreman. All right, great coach, right? He coaches the Gulf Coast Crush, a travel baseball team around here. They do a fantastic job, and he knows his sports as well. You're not in the right sports group unless you know your sports. But he says this is between Travis Pastrana and Emmitt Smith. Pastrana had so much more impact on his sport, so much that MTV paid him millions just to do a show around his lifestyle. So that gets a lot of points for me. Not to mention he has hundreds of awards stating he is the best around in multiple different events, revolutionized his sport much more than Emmitt did. My vote is Travis. I love it. I love that take. But here's my problem. In the one before that, you took Babe Ruth over Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk is more to his sport than what Travis Pastrana is to motocross. Motocross. Now the different things and the MTV show, but the video game Tony Hawk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So by that logic, wouldn't Tony Hawk be your vote? But it wasn't. It was Babe Ruth, and that goes to show that everybody I don't want to say everybody. Most of the votes that I've seen at some point in time, a little bias gets used.
We were talking about this today. It's kind of funny how this ends up working like this to where you're going to have different opinions on different things because I think it was Bo Jackson versus who did Bo Jackson just go up against? Kobe?
I don't think it was Kobe.
I don't think it was Kobe.
Let me check
Kobe
one of my 5
Willie
screens
Mays.
over here.
Oh, Bo Jackson went against Leo Messi. That's what we just talked about. That I don't know why I couldn't get it ringing in my ding dong here.
My ding dong.
Whatever I pointed it in my head in my dome piece. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I sat over here on the couch and I looked at Dave and I was like, I put together a thrilling argument for Leo Messi over Bo Jackson. Both of which I voted against in the last round.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny how that's kind of
playing itself out.
Now Bo's in the Sweet 16, and I ain't going to vote for him there either.
Well, and then here's another one from Jake McGowan. And this was kind of, we're taking a different spin with this one because
this one's tough to talk about.
It is
because it's sensitive.
Well, but it's so true though because it's 1,000%. Willie Mays to me is the best baseball player to ever do it.
Yeah.
I would put Hank there, but there's bias there. So I would put Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and then Babe Ruth would be somewhere around 5 for me. Jake says, curious how the vote would go if Kobe had not passed, because he's going up against Willie Mays, right? 1,000, no, as big of a percentage as you can put. That's why I went with Kobe Bryant. No doubt about it. Was because that was the not only was he a great basketball player, top 5 you can make the argument for, top 10 for sure.
I say top 5 all time, right?
Easy. Well, some people say top 10, but he's in that 10 to 5 range, no doubt about it. But Willie Mays should have won that. But, well, it should have gotten my vote.
Right.
But I still went with Kobe because, to me, Kobe was the GOAT.
And I think that's where this gets kind of hard to talk about, right? Because we sat here and we did a whole tribute show 24 hours after Kobe passed. Actually, I think you remember that. We were distraught. We were heartbroken. We sat in here. We were here the day after.
Yeah.
And that just kind of puts this spot in your heart to where you want to vote Kobe, vote Kobe, vote Kobe. But I voted Kobe. Same thing. And now I look at it like I really just put that man over Willie Mays.
Yeah.
I really just did that.
To me, I still would have went with Kobe, whether he was alive or passed, because I love Willie Mays, think he was a great ball player. But to me, I'd even pose the question, I think Kobe might be better than LeBron.
See, that's where
but
you asked me that question 2 years ago. What do you mean is LeBron better than Kobe? No, Kobe. Yeah. You know what I mean? But what LeBron is doing at this he's so dominant still.
Yeah.
That is, you just got to take the team thing out of it. You can't always just take sorry teams as far as they can go, but you can look at the individual performance and be like, wow, and this guy's been along for the ride the whole entire time and gets mad when people talk bad about LeBron. So he's mad all the dang time.
People just talk bad about LeBron because he's a legitimate threat to Jordan.
And that is also true. But the crazy part, to your point about it, using that bias and of Kobe and whatnot, the vote should not have ended 42-22. It should have been a whole lot closer.
I think that's the biggest issue is how wide of the gap. Like it did not come to our decision. It didn't even get to this panel.
Yeah,
it was just so wide. I am happy that we did get so many votes, but it was just so crazy.
Yeah.
Such a
well, a lot of the times, people will see it, or they'll scroll right by it. Sometimes, if you're in the group, though, you should definitely be voting. But when you see it, it's almost like your mind picks as soon as you see.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Yep. You see the 2 names, you're like, I like this guy better. Forget all the stats, forget anything. I like this guy better, right. Especially when it comes to people that we not even admired, but just watched during our childhood.
And especially if you're looking against, like, I've voted for Tom Brady in every round that he's been in both times. Me being a Saints fan, I've always hated the Patriots. Never been a big fan of Tom Brady, but hey,
you are preaching to the choir, brother.
But I'm still voting for him. So
imagine being in the same division as him for 20 years.
Yeah, it's just looking at it and going, how do I not vote for this guy?
Right.
Give me a reason to not vote for him, and I will.
Quick comment here from Wright State Chris. Willie Mays was Barry Bonds' godfather. He taught Barry that stars deserve to shine. No Willie Mays, no Barry Bonds. We've got one more. Maybe we'll touch on this when we get back. But for all my wrestling fans out there, get excited because we've got Kyle Wright bringing you the spread for the weekend, man. Get ready. And then we'll go over our top 5 wrestlers. Text me your top 5 wrestlers to 850-215-6290.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive home for the Final Four. Catch all the excitement of college basketball's premier event right here.
And the dream is alive!
Final Four coverage begins Saturday at 3:30. Sponsored by Bill Bird Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Ellis Agency Insurance, Panama City Toyota, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get ready for your next adventure and drive away today in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia, the SUV family at Bill Bird. Check out the new 2022 Kia Souls, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. And if you're looking for a sedan, Bill Bird Kia can put you in a brand new 2022 Forte, a K5, or a Stinger. Always online at BillBirdKia.com. Stop by and see us today in your exclusive home for that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Did you know termites do more damage every year than fires, floods, and storms combined? And all they need is a width of a sheet of paper to get in your home. But I can tell you that it's completely preventable. You can protect the most valuable investment you have by calling us today. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play. David Hayes.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
Old school.
It's great to see freaks come together.
The Afternoon Underdogs. Inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, welcome back into the Rib Crib Radio Room. Quick reminder, those in Marianna, Chipley, Bonifay, 102.1 is now your home for Sports Talk Radio, 104.3, well, ESPN Northwest Florida. Cameron. Oh, Cameron. Hey, man, appreciate you. I might as well just give you the handles over there.
No doubt. Teach him how to do it.
I can see it over there. Man. I can see it over there whenever it didn't change. I was like, hey, hit it.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, and you'll do from now on, that'll be our go-to lingo. I love it. And also another quick piece here, since we're going to be talking about WrestleMania in this segment. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer 7. This is going to be for Kendall Susie. All proceeds benefit Mosley Sr., Kendall Susie. Doors will open at 5:30. Tickets are $12 if you got kids that are ages 6 through 10. They're $10 5 and under. Get in free. It's Saturday, April 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Jack Patterson is dealing with health issues of his own and is still going above and beyond as he always does. If you haven't been to one of his Wrestling Against Cancer shows, it's a blast. It really is, man. The things that they do for Kendall Susie in this case, it's just amazing. And the emotions that are, which is something huge in the world of wrestling, right? The emotions.
Big time.
When you've got the crowd all involved in the emotions as well, it just is bound to make something special happen. But we've got a big WrestleMania coming up this Saturday and Sunday.
Yes,
a 2-day event. How often do they do 2-day events like this?
So WrestleMania last year, for the first time in a very long time, went back to being 2 nights. And I think that was the first time since in the early like WrestleMania 8, 9, 10 days. I might be mistaken, but they used to do 2 nights. They used to have 2 nights in 2 different locations.
Really?
They tried at one point. But here we are, man. I mean, this weekend, I would say, and many people would agree, like any wrestling fan out there, this is the biggest weekend in wrestling history. Because not only do you have WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday, you've got NXT, which is WWE's developmental brand, putting on a pay-per-view Saturday morning. That's going to start at 11 o'clock our time, noon Eastern time. And then on Friday night, The Undertaker's being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
How cool is that? I was watching a Facebook video the other day of him and Kane, Undertaker and Kane, talking with this WWE guy about the memorabilia that he had, and there was like things that he only wore one time, like the cape, or I think the cape was something that he only wore like a select number of times.
Oh,
Just
like
really cool.
when he was at the like storage unit.
Yeah, the Storage Wars thing.
Yes,
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool.
I never grew up watching wrestling. Never did anything. Never did that. But watching some of that video and watching him talk about it and stuff like that, I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like he genuinely cared about how everything went down.
Absolutely, man. And hey, if you guys are looking for a way to get some WrestleMania coverage before the weekend starts, the Right On Squared Circle podcast, our boys Dan Gonzalez and Scott Hollinsworth, I'll be on there tonight, but they're going to be throwing down on a WrestleMania preview episode. It'll be available tomorrow morning wherever you get your podcasts. So go check it out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm so excited. Just to highlight a couple of the matches before we get into our thing real quick.
Absolutely, man. Do your thing.
I mean, we got a big weekend coming up. I mean, Saturday night, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ooh. Ronda kind of venturing back into the WWE life after she left and had a kid. Seth Rollins is going to have a mystery opponent. There's a lot of different options out there. The biggest option being Cody Rhodes making his return to the WWE after leaving and starting a completely new promotion with the idea of going head-to-head with WWE and taking them down. Vince McMahon somehow got, allegedly, we'll see Saturday night.
Yeah, because it's speculation. It's not fact.
It's not fact.
It's not like having a dead dog tell you that Tiger Woods is going to be playing at the Masters.
It's not quite to that caliber, but it is there. And then, of course, the Kevin Owens show Saturday night with the special guest Stone Cold Steve Austin might end up being a match. Stone Cold has not performed in the WWE for 15 years, and here we go. Stone Cold might be performing Saturday night. And then, of course, on Sunday, Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee. It's always fun to see.
Pat's wrestling
at WrestleMania.
Oh, my gosh.
So keep an eye on that. It's always fun to see the celebrities get in the ring, especially the ones that respect the business.
What night is this? Sunday?
That'll be Sunday night.
Okay, I'm coming over.
And then, of course, the main event, the biggest main event of all time, title unification. First time it's ever happened at WrestleMania. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar, Universal Champion Roman Reigns. It's going to be huge. We're going to unify the titles. We're going to go to one world champion.
Well, we got Zach Lesnar saying, just hope my uncle Brock Lesnar can get it done against Roman Reigns.
Ooh, it's going to be an incredible weekend.
So we got Zach Lesnar with Brock Lesnar, and then our sales guy here, Miles Lashley.
Whoa!
Bobby Lashley, right?
That's why he said Bobby's his uncle today.
Yeah.
And then he didn't tell me his last name. Like I'm supposed to just assume,
oh, your name's Lashley?
Oh, your last name's Lashley, huh? I thought it was a completely different joke.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, let's get into our top five. Like I said, y'all send me your top fives over 850-215-6290, or you can follow us on Facebook, ESPN Northwest Florida. We're also on YouTube under the same name, and Twitch. Man, I don't even have the joke to do with old school no more because all of us in the building know exactly what Twitch is.
Yep. What was the Twitch joke?
Well, I would just say Twitch, and he would just start twitching. You mean that?
I've been twitching the whole show. Got a little pinched nerve back here, so it's making me kind of twitch
pinched
a little
nerve, broke ankle.
Broke ankle.
Man, it's a good thing you're not playing in spiders.
Ding dong on my shoulder. whatever you want to call it.
It's a hostess. It's a hostess.
Snack cake.
Top 5 wrestlers from any era. Doesn't matter. Let's just go through. Well, we got about 5 minutes here, but let's just go through our list and kind of explain them a little bit. I'll start it off here. Number 5, I'm going with the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah, brother. Just the flair, no pun intended, for Ric Flair. Everything that I say with wrestling, he could come up with a sound effect.
I will. I swear. This is my bread and butter. Bro.
Yeah, this is your bread and butter, and I love it, man.
Can you do a backflip from my number 5?
I will do a Hurricane Rana.
How about? Oh, never mind. That would be too dark. Randy Savage is my number 5. Number 4, Ric Flair. My cousin Ryan, he wrestles at some of the local promotions around here, and that was his favorite wrestler of all time. So I was always kind of partial to Ric Flair, the Four Horsemen. Wait, he was part of the Four Horsemen in WCW.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was having a talk with somebody about someone. Jeff Jarrett. He was not in The
No.
Four Horsemen. Right. Okay, that's where I got confused then. Number 3, Hulk Hogan, because I'm sure that he would be on a lot of people's top 5s, but I actually got to meet him and shake his hand, take a picture with him when I was a young kid. Number 2, the 619 guy, man. Rey Mysterio. I loved that move, and I loved didn't matter the size of the opponent. He would still bring it. And then number 1, my favorite of all time, still wrestling to this day, at times anyways, is Sting. I love Sting. The NWO Sting especially.
I like that. Great.
Number 5 for me was Rey Mysterio. Like I said earlier, I grew up not really watching, but Rey Mysterio, I had a video game. My parents got it for me. It was like on the old school Nintendo 64. Old school.
Which was one of the best systems ever created, 100%. Really.
But me and my little brother loved playing it, and my little brother thought he was Spider-Man. So his favorite person was Rey Mysterio because you could change out his little face mask, and he had a red one. So he was like, hey, yeah, this is Spider-Man. I'm going to play as him. Number 4 is Undertaker. Moving on.
Yeah.
You weren't going to say anything? Respond?
No.
Nothing? Make a joke? Anything?
No, I got nothing.
Number 4, The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing some of his, like you were saying earlier, just seeing him after retirement and listening to what he had to say and his experiences, like that was just amazing. Number 3, John Cena. Like, you can't see me. The video of the prank phone call. That's my absolute all-time favorite. That
I saw a meme on Facebook the other day, or maybe it was Twitter or something, where a dude's like laying down on a doctor's table or whatever, and just they're dumping Visine into his eyes, and then it like cuts away to the next meme, and it's just John Cena. It's like I can see him.
Number 2, Ric Flair. Gotta be woo.
Thought you were gonna slap me in the chest. I was gonna let you.
Oh, that is not okay. That's like a Will Smith to Chris Rock at the Oscars.
And then number 1 is The Rock, because I mean, recency bias. He was in wrestling. I loved him as the promoter for the original XFL. Whenever they put him out there and he was announcing the very first one from on the field, like as they're on the field.
Kind of like how he did in the Super Bowl.
I loved that. That was just amazing. That was prime Rock.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna hopefully the XFL and their third rendition of it does a little bit better.
Hopefully they do good, man. I don't know. It would be nice to have an alternate football league to be able to like actually succeed.
Which one do you think goes further before we get in your top 5, USFL or XFL, or we can do that and defend your stance?
The XFL is way better funded. I mean, that's the easy
Vince.
pick.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my top 5. Number 5, Chris Jericho. I have a requirement that everybody's got to be good in the ring and on a microphone. And Chris Jericho is probably the best of all time when it comes to cutting promos.
Dude.
Nobody could do it like Chris.
That's a great point.
Nobody.
Wait, which Chris?
Chris Jericho.
Oh. No, just
oh my gosh.
No, I knew
This is not a Bowflex promotion. Number 4, John Cena. John put the wrestling business on his back for the greater part of 10 to 12 years, where a time where wrestling really started to die off, but it was John Cena who just kept it afloat the whole time. Number 3, Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. The only one that's dead on my list, sadly, died way too young. I believe he'd still be going today. Number 2, Randy Orton, third generation, incredible athlete. I've never seen a bad Randy Orton match.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Like I've seen, even my number 1, I've seen, okay, that's not his best match. I've never seen Randy Orton mess up a spot. And that's why Orton's so high on my list, because he's just, everything he does is so smooth in there. And you know, as much as we say wrestling's fake, it's a choreographed thing.
The only thing fake is the outcome.
Right.
That's the only thing fake about it.
You can't mess up those spots because it becomes obvious, especially to the lifelong fans. And I've never seen that in a Randy Orton match, and he's in his 20th year this year. So.
He was, especially like you said, whenever it was kind of falling off for a little bit, and then he brought it back.
He was right there with Cena.
Or him and Cena.
He was seen as Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Or Lex Luthor in
Lex
this
Luthor,
situation.
yeah.
Superman's Lex Luthor. And number 1, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Dude.
That's golden. He gave Triple H his name.
He gave Triple H his name. But the biggest thing about Shawn Michaels for me, and I grew up in a Christian household, God-raised family. Shawn Michaels is a godly man, and somehow kept that through his prime.
Yeah.
Like, never lost that, never lost his sense of Christianity. And Shawn Michaels had one of my favorite quotes, never lose your smile. Like,
man,
you got to smile through bad stuff.
That wow, that quote hits deep, especially when you're not expecting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good stuff. All right, we got a lot of text in with top 5, so I want to read those. We don't have enough time in this segment, so y'all stick with us here. We're gonna read those off when we get back, and send me some other text in. That was great responses there from our wrestling. Should we talk more wrestling on the Afternoon Underdogs? Give us a call or text 850-215-6290. We'll be right back.
Weather forecast overnight. The weather will settle down overnight. Mostly cloudy skies around 58. Southwest wind becoming northwest 10 to 15. A north wind at 10 miles per hour Friday, partly to mostly sunny in the mid-70s. Showers expected Saturday, clearing Sunday. You'll be in the 70s over the course of the weekend. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. In the main event, Chief Little Bear versus Kelly Man. Plus, exciting women's wrestling Saturday, April 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Doors open at 5:30, bell time 6:30. Tickets $12. Ages 6 to 10 only $10. 5 and under free. Proceeds benefit mostly high school student Kendall Susie. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
The Bikini Bash and Health Fair on April 20th at Fit Culture PCB. Check out the cool collection of local businesses specializing in your health, your wellness, and your beauty. We'll serve healthy snacks, superfood cocktails.
What?
Live entertainment, giveaways, and door prizes. Let's get ready for a hot summer together at the Bikini Bash and Health Fair on April 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Fit Culture PCB, 11905 Panama City Beach Parkway.
Dr. Chad Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine and joint replacement of the knee, shoulder, and hip. He serves our local athletes and our community. Southern Orthopedic Specialist has been the leader in orthopedic care for over 20 years. New patients are welcome. Call 850-769-KNEE to schedule an appointment. More about Dr. Mitchell and Southern Orthopedic Specialist is available on their website, southernorthopedic.com. Southern Orthopedic, getting you back in the game.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back, and this is Defend Your Stance. It's brought to you by Emerald Coast Damsel, Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense. We pity the fool who doesn't use our tool. All right, let's get into some of these lists that we got over here. James Kelly Jr. says, number 1, Sting. Number 2, Ric Flair. Number 3, The Rock. Number 4, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And number 5, you were talking about Cody Rhodes earlier.
Yep, the American Dream.
Dusty Rhodes.
I love that. Good honorable mention in my top 10.
Dusty Rhodes?
I love Dusty, man. Great guy.
What's the biggest list that you've ever compiled with wrestlers?
What you mean, like how many?
Yeah.
I would say top 10.
Top 10?
I've cracked the top 10. I don't know if Dusty would be in my top 10.
What if
but he would be right there.
What if WWE started coming up with like a college football ranking system where like you have the top 25 wrestlers and it changes by week?
AEW's trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not
difficult, huh?
Yeah, they don't stick to it.
Yeah. And something like that has got to be stuck to
You
for a
got to
while.
stick to
Yep.
it, right?
Zach Lesnar says The Rock, number 1. Number 2, Stone Cold. Number 3, The Undertaker. Number 4, his uncle Brock Lesnar. Number 5, Triple H. We also have, man, they're still piling in here. Right State Chris gave me a nice long list. Hulk, Hollywood Hogan, Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, The Outsiders, the original NWO, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Honorable mention to Stone Cold and The Rock. He says also Mankind and Sabu and New Jack for the super extreme wrestlers. I mean, Mankind, Mick Foley.
Interesting to not see Stone Cold on a lot of these top 5s.
What do you mean?
Like, it wasn't in yours? It
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
in
yeah.
any of ours.
Yeah, that's insane, really. Well, it's just because I did mine until I got to number 5. I didn't, and I Googled WCW wrestlers because that was my preferred promotion growing up. You know what I mean? But yeah, Stone Cold, I mean.
Yeah. Tough.
Stone Cold. Could you imagine what's going to happen this WrestleMania when the glass breaks?
In his hometown of Dallas, Texas.
Oh, my goodness. Corey O.H. says, 5, Ultimate... Well, he gave me 2... Okay, so he gave me 2 lists. Original list, number 5, Scott Hall. Number 4, Heartbreak Kid. Number 3, The Ultimate Warrior. Number 2, Ric Flair. Number 1, Stone Cold. Then he revised it because he forgot the Viper, he said. Number 5, Ultimate Warrior. Number 4, Heartbreak Kid. Number 3, Ric Flair. Number 2, Stone Cold. And then number 1, RKO.
Dang. He completely revised his list.
Yeah,
I mean, Orton's... It looks like I convinced somebody with my Orton take. The dude's just smooth, man.
No one is going to mention. This is from, Todd Mitchell says, no Goldberg. Navy Chief Keith Reed says, no one is going to mention King Haku or the Bushwhacker brothers.
Oh, Luke and, man. Bushwhacker, Luke, Bushwhacker. Can't think of the other one's name.
I'm sure we'll get a text
I'm sure
about
somebody
that.
will get it.
Or Hacksaw Jim, man. Jim Dugan. Oh, man. Yeah.
First ever Royal Rumble winner.
So I'm assuming that they want a little bit more wrestling talk these days. So we're going to we'll try to make that more of a regular thing on Thursdays. Keep you guys up to date with that. Maybe we'll create our own top 25 across all promotions weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you'll do all of it, but I'll supervise.
I love it.
You'll do all of it.
You know, we used to that life, baby.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's get into our actual Defend Your Stance questions. Thank you guys so much for the responses. That is absolutely awesome, and thank you guys for listening and being a part of our show here on the Afternoon Underdogs. Will Tua Tagovailoa be the Dolphins quarterback in 2023? Let's let Kyle go last in this one since he's a Dolphins fan. Big Drew, what you got, bro?
I say yes. I think he has a big year.
Ooh.
I say he has a big year this year.
Pause one time, because we just got another great text from Right State Chris, and I'm surprised that this one wasn't on my list. Bret the Hitman Hart. You don't like Bret Hart?
He would be on my bottom 5.
Bottom 5. Is it? Why?
I just hate him.
Okay.
He's a prick. He's the worst human being outside of the ring.
Really?
I
don't know much about that.
If I'm going to go in the ring, then Bret Hart's a top 5 all time. Might be the greatest technical wrestler of all time, but I take everything into consideration. He's a scumbag, so.
All right, sorry to cut you off. Back to Tua, but that was actually worth the response that we got. So.
I say yes. I've loved Tua. I think he was a great quarterback at Alabama. I think he, going against him as an LSU fan, going against him for 4 years.
Y'all really liked it when y'all finally got the edge on us because he was hobbling around the field.
Yeah. And then to see him
on one leg.
going into the NFL, I don't understand the hate against him, honestly, because he had.
Here, I'll pull up a video. To show you.
Kyle's biggest thing is I do understand the health portion, but one of Kyle's biggest things is he can't throw a deep ball. He did that wonderfully at Alabama, and the biggest difference to me from Alabama to Miami is that offensive line.
He's not playing the Citadel every week.
Hey, you play against the SEC West, SEC East. Well, we'll leave the SEC.
Get them Vanderbilt games. I'll tell you, that's when I first ever he came in garbage time against Vanderbilt. I want to say it was the year when they were like, "Oh, we want Bama. We're 4-0. We're ranked.
Yeah.
Like, we're ready to go." He came in garbage time in that, and he made this crazy throw, and that that dude. It was almost Johnny Manziel-ish, where you're like, oh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Oh, my man, what's up? So that's when I knew he was going to be decent, at least college.
I definitely think, obviously, the addition of Tyreek Hill helps him this year. He's also got 3 new starters on the offensive line. So you give this man a little bit more protection. You allow him, and he will thrive this season with this offense because he has the opportunity with with Waddle and Tyreek to just be able to dump it, get it to them quick, let them do all the work, get it to your athletes, let them do all the work, and go from there. And then also you still have 2 big body receivers with Gesicki and Devontae Parker being able to go up and get it if he needs to.
We got to come back. We've got to get to the legal ID. We're gonna go ahead and let you hear some commercials real quick, and then we're gonna come back, and me and Kyle will give our responses on this. Read off a couple more texts, and then we'll start breaking down quarterbacks by division. 4, 3, 2, 1.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. An AD, never healthy. He's played 37 games this year. He played 36 games last year. He needs to be traded. Not considered. They need to move him. Now, I was on this. I said this 2 years ago. After they won a title in the bubble, he came back to camp out of shape, knowing it was the baton year. This is the Herd.
Weekdays 11 to 2, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Dairyland is your land. It's car insurance that keeps you on the road so that you can make it to work on time. Its payment plans are flexible for when life gets complicated. It's affordable coverage to help you get back on the road again, even if you've taken a break. Because Dairyland is auto insurance that's customized to fit your life. Dairyland is your land.
Car insurance doesn't have to be complicated. We can help. Contact Ellis Agency Insurance today at 850-763-1627 or visit ellisagency.net.
Safety is important, not just for you, but also for your family. Emerald Coast AMSL specializes in women's and children's safety and self-protection. They offer a variety of products from stun guns, striking tools, pepper sprays, including GPS-enabled sprays, personal alarms, safety whistles, and more. Give the gift of self-protection and contact Michelle and Rick today, 850-358-2810, or visit their website at emeraldcoastdamsel.com. Independent Damsel Pro for damsel in defense.
Home for the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX Lynn Haven, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistance, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
When you want a big-time sports show, tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
I'm going to send you up against the best.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The need for speed.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're also on Blab TV. You can get their channel on Fire TV or your Roku. And we're also now in Marianna, Chipley, Bonifay. We're on a different dial, though, up there, 102.1. Tell your friends, tell your families. Will Tua be the Dolphins quarterback in 2023? I'm going to put it like this. I do think he'll be better. He's going to have a better offensive line just in the sake of Terran Armstead if he can stay healthy, right? Just with that piece, he should have longer than 2.52 seconds in the pocket. I think that he'll be better. If not, no. If he does not show, I almost want to say significant progression with the deep ball. Let's not forget, when it comes to quick slant passes, he's accurate. And he's got the receivers now to make that happen.
Less than 20 yards, I believe he led the NFL in completion percentage.
Right, exactly. But the deep ball is what people ooh and ah over. You know what I mean? And that's not what your job is as a quarterback. Your job as a quarterback, let's be honest, is to win games. Joe Namath, going with 2 Alabama quarterbacks, and I'm like, how in the world are these guys so notable? The other one, the snake, Kenny Stabler, right? So even with them, like both of them threw more interceptions than they did touchdowns, but they got wins. They got Super Bowls. So that is what Tua needs to do here this year. Not a Super Bowl, but they need to win. They need to get in the get into the playoffs. And if Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle stay healthy, he's got the fastest combination of not even just that with Gesicki as well. And his running backs are all fast. Give me a bruiser somewhere in there. Watch out for the Miami Dolphins this year.
Will he be the starting quarterback in 2023? I'm going to say yes. Just because now they've given him, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Mike Gesicki. Devontae Parker's a question mark for now, but they've also signed Cedric Wilson from the
Dallas.
From the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He's coming over.
Another speedster.
Yep. They give him Teron Armstead and Connor Williams on the offensive line.
And an offensive coach.
And this is the biggest thing. He's got a head coach that will not be trying to sabotage his career.
Yeah.
And whether you believe the Brian Flores stuff, whether you don't, obviously the relationship was toxic from the get-go with Flores and Tua. So hopefully, and this is me speaking with hope because I do not believe in the kid one bit. But I promise you there's not a person at this table except for maybe David Hayes because he's an Alabama fan that would love to be proven wrong about this kid more. Who was the first person to reach out to you to try to get a jersey for Tua?
You.
Me.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love the kid. He's a lovable guy. He's great. I will say this, though. Injuries, production.
Mm-hmm.
2 things that Tua struggled with in his first 2 years. I know Teddy Bridgewater is not a top 10, top 15 quarterback in the NFL.
He's chomping at the bit, too, though.
But Teddy Bridgewater, it will go into this season as a top 2 or 3 backup quarterback in the league. If Tua gets hurt or gets benched, he will not get his job back again, and he will be a career backup quarterback in the NFL forever, as long as he stays in the league. If he gets hurt or if he gets benched at any point, Bridgewater gets in, Tua will not ever play as a starting quarterback unless
Teddy gets hurt.
Unless his starter gets hurt.
Well, think about that, though, with Teddy.
Teddy's injury
exactly,
prone too. I just mean like they're gonna move. They'll move on after this year to somebody else.
I'm 1,000% with you because as much as I hold out hope for the guy, but coming out of college, and I was basing it more not on talent, but dude had a terrible injury, couldn't do it against the cream of the crop in college football. What makes you think that it's going to be able to translate to the NFL and you not get injured there?
Right.
So I didn't have a lot of faith into his not ability, but health, his durability,
right?
And now you have every piece outside of a bruising running back, but you got 2 good ones there. It's put up or shut up now. It's absolutely put up or shut up.
You're gonna have the fastest offense in the NFL, which is what he had at Alabama.
By far,
bar none. Right? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds. You've got 2 running backs who can not only slash but can also catch the ball tremendously. And maybe, just maybe, having those 2 will up Myles Gaskin's game. Maybe he can become the bruiser. Maybe Gaskin can become that guy because he's still
just
on the
all
roster.
3 kind of remind me of the same guy. Who was it that? What about Duke?
Duke signed with the Bills.
Oh man, because he came on at the end of the year last year.
He did. He had 2 games over 100 yards in his 3 starts, and I mean, maybe he can rejuvenate himself up in Buffalo because Lord knows they need a running back bad. That's the only thing they need. We'll see.
So, in your opinion, what I'm curious to see what that offense looks like because if the new coach Mike McDaniels, he is from Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, and what's his face, Matt LaFleur. They're from the same tree. They run the
McVay as well. They're all
McVay,
all tied in together.
McVay and LaFleur run somewhat. They all three of them run the same offense, but
McDaniels?
No.
McVay.
Too many Micks in here.
McFleur.
Okay, McFlurry.
Right. He's got McDonald's on the mind.
Yes.
That's all I
get
can
what
think.
you're saying.
They run it out of 3 wide receivers. Shanahan runs it out of using a fullback, an extra tight end.
And his name is Debo.
But
how does that translate with how does Mike McDaniels run his offense?
I don't know because they've got respectively Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo. We've got Tua Tagovailoa. So that's a totally different story. I don't know. I mean, I hope that he becomes run heavy because that's what San Francisco has done well over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
They've made guys like Raheem Mostert. Jeff Wilson even has had some big flashes.
Elijah Mitchell from last year. It's every year. It's like their running back room is dog doo-doo until they hit the field. Right. Like when we're playing fantasy football, it's like stay away from those guys. Then the next year you're like, oh my goodness, got to get this guy. Now watch, and a 5th round guy and Elijah Mitchell, they're doing pretty good drafting wise.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's been rumors that maybe they'll use Tyreek Hill in the same way that the 49ers used Debo this past year, which resulted in Debo's major breakout.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We need to move on to ranking some quarterbacks.
Yeah,
let's
get it. Well, let's start with the AFC East then.
Want to go to AFC East?
Yeah, because we're doing AFC in this segment, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think it doesn't matter. We're going to do them all.
All right. We're going to do them all.
Ranking the AFC East quarterbacks, I'm going to go from worst to first. Number 4 is Zach Wilson. Number 3, Tua Tagovailoa. Number 2, Mac Jones. And number 1, Josh Allen. I think number 1 should be the same. I'm interested to see what you guys got. So worst to first.
I flip-flopped my 2 and 3. I went Zach Wilson 4, Mac Jones 3, Tua 2, and Josh Allen 1.
So when you said your 4, I was like, I'm basically going to echo that. Then I'm thinking, wait, coming into this year, who's got the better talent around him? That's Tua, but there's still those question marks. So I'm gonna side with Kyle on this one. There's no question who's number 1. Then I'll go Mac, then Tua, and then we'll round it out. I don't think that Zach Wilson will be the quarterback for the Jets for 2 more years.
I don't think so either.
I just don't got hope for him. I don't got hope for any quarterback that goes to the Jets.
They got to get him some receivers though. They got to try. They got to build around the kid.
Drake London. You think that's where he lands?
I'm thinking so. I hope they don't reach. I hope they do reach. I hope they screw up their draft.
No doubt. Doesn't everyone?
I am very scared of them hiring Robert Saleh as a head coach. He's extremely he's got a high upside.
That's
as a head
why
coach.
I was very perplexed at the year that they had last year, but it's year 1.
Right. I mean, that's what you're going to get with a defensive-minded head coach, though.
That's true.
Offense is going to struggle always.
Let's go AFC North.
AFC North, from worst to first, I've got Mitch Trubisky at number 4, assuming he's going to start for the Steelers. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. I've got Lamar Jackson at 3.
Whoa.
Now, I know Lamar's a winner, but I'm talking quarterback skills. I'm talking everything from passing to everything. Lamar's not a great passer. Number 2, Deshaun Watson. Number 1, JoJo.
I've got Trubisky, number 4.
I thought you were going to say 1. I was about to say, let's go, Drew.
Yeah.
Watson, number 3. Because you just never know if he's going to play, if he's going to be allowed to play. And I'm a big believer in Lamar. He's got to shore up he's obviously got to shore up his arm, got to be better in the pass game. But who is he throwing to?
Yeah.
And then Joe Burrow. I mean, go Tigers.
Yeah, I think I like that list there. 4 would have to be Trubisky. 3, the Browns quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Browns with a question mark, maybe.
Well, yeah, because even if it was Jacoby Brissett, right? I mean, the explosion on Trubisky is because he's not in Chicago anymore, right? And it was like, oh wow, look what happened to Justin Fields. Maybe Trubisky's actually pretty good because he got him to the playoffs. That doesn't necessarily tell the whole story.
Twice.
Very true. No, that's 100% true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he gets all that credit. They had a better defense in those 2 years than what they had last year.
I do want to add, as much as we talked about Jameis earlier, I am excited to see Trubisky
get
a second chance.
Me too.
And with a dangerous offense around him with Najee and Deontay Johnson,
and
Chase
a team
Claypool.
that hasn't had a losing season under their head coach.
And that defense is just reloading. Like,
Mhm.
oof.
Yeah.
Watch out for the Steelers if Trubisky can put it together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
AFC North. Oh, no, but that's what we just did. So
Yeah.
AFC, I'm just South. Yeah, you save the best for last, right? The AFC West.
Yeah, exactly. That's the toughest one too.
Oh my goodness.
AFC South, I got Davis Mills at number 4. Even though he showed some
What?
flashes
No,
last
just-
year. He did though. Hey, Davis
did.
Mills showed some flashes last year.
I like
And
him.
I still think Houston is going to end up being one of the worst teams in the league just because they have nothing else. But maybe Lovie Smith can get some things popping over there. Trevor Lawrence, number 3. Ryan Tannehill, number 2. And I'm going to have the brand new acquisition, Matt Ryan, former MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Still played at a pretty decent level last year with a tight end, with an undersized tight end as his number 1 receiver.
Yeah. And you had Cordell Patterson. That was it.
Who else, man?
That's all you had. Not a good offensive line. Defense was terrible, so you rarely had the ball anyways.
Right.
Yeah, just keep being terrible, Falcons. I love it. I love
AFC South for you, top 4.
Davis,
or top 4, like there's any more.
Davis Mills, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill.
See, I'm going with Kyle on this one because Ryan Tannehill is the reason that we didn't beat the Bengals. I don't want to say the sole reason. I don't want to say the sole reason.
Conversation, right?
It's a tough conversation, but it's. I love Ryan Tannehill. I'm glad that we stuck with him. Like you get the opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers. Like, okay, but that's only 3 years. Like, I still believe that Ryan Tannehill can get this team with Ryan Tannehill got dealt a whole bunch of injuries and had a mix and match offense the whole year. Then they get to the playoffs, they're 100% healthy, and they had a bye week. And just until you get chemistry in games, I don't care what it looks like on the practice field.
Sometimes that bye week is the worst thing for a team.
Even if you're unhealthy.
I think the Titans have hit their ceiling with Tannehill as quarterback because he's good enough to win games, good enough to win the division, good enough to get you 1-2 wins in the playoffs. But I don't know if they're going much further past that.
They can if they continue to build the defense.
Yes.
They've got to do that. And, I mean, now you're
because that defense came out of nowhere last year.
It really did. And was that a fluke? Just like the Bengals in the playoffs, their defense. Was it a fluke? Can they actually turn it? Like, is this going to be the new normal?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All we could do is hope. But with that, I would have Davis Mills at 4. No disrespect. Like you guys were saying, number 3 would be Trevor Lawrence. Hey, he could end up being number 1 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Highly doubtable, but also feasible.
But they are signing some people over there.
That's very true. Then number 2, I would go Tannehill and 1, Ryan, just because I believe that he's going to have one of, maybe not statistically, but win-loss, one of the best seasons that he's ever had if Jonathan Taylor stays healthy. I really do believe that. AFC West before we get out of here for this segment.
AFC West is the hardest one to do. I've got from 4 to 3, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert at number 3. May end up number 1 by the end of the year, though. I mean, even over Patty. We'll see. I've got Russell Wilson at number 2 and Patrick Mahomes at number 1. They're there because they're both Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a great reasoning. Drew.
I love this guy, but he's number 4 to me. Jay Herbo, Justin Herbert is number 4. Derek Carr is number 3. Russell Wilson, number 2. And then Patrick Mahomes. I've got Carr above Herbert because you look at last year.
Mm-hmm.
The team that was surrounded Herbert in Los Angeles couldn't get it done, couldn't take them to the playoffs. All the craziness that happened in Las Vegas, losing your coach, losing a player, losing a defensive player, like all the craziness that happened, and Derek Carr still found a way to take them to the playoffs. And then you add in Devontae Adams, his college teammate. Watch out.
Yeah, that's a great list. I'm trying to find every reason that I can to drop Patrick Mahomes from the top spot because I think he will be as good, but he doesn't got the same receivers anymore.
I was going to echo this earlier when you said that Tannehill was the reason y'all lost to the Bengals. It's like, I wouldn't carry that weight too bad because Patrick Mahomes
that second half was
the sole reason the Chiefs lost to the Bengals.
Yeah.
And it's,
no doubt.
It's definitely, at first I was like, I'm going to put Wilson number 1 because of the team that he has surrounding him. But then I'm like, it's still Patrick Mahomes.
It
still
still
has
is.
Andy Reid. Still has Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
They're gonna find a way. And I think a very underrated. I know he's not Tyreek Hill, but a very underrated signing there is Juju.
Really?
I think
that
he-
him and Jackson are going to get along great, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's that's exactly what I thought.
he literally came out saying that he wouldn't make any TikToks.
He's
and
already done it, hasn't he?
Not any.
Or was that
with,
Photoshop?
Not any with Jackson.
Marquez
my
Valdez-Scantling will be the biggest signing that the Chiefs made.
Yeah.
Because it's a
or on the defensive side, but
on
offensive,
the
yeah,
offensive side,
for
right,
sure.
to try to replace Tyreek, and they lost McCole Hardman, they lost the Robinson,
DeMarcus
Robinson, because they had two Robinsons, but one was a running back, one was a wide receiver.
But I think Patrick Mahomes will be just fine.
Let me hear your West.
So West quickly for me is going to be I struggle in between my 4 and 3. If you want my honest opinion, where we're at now, Russell Wilson,
number 4. Okay.
Number 3 would be. It's going to be Derek Carr, but so much has got to be said about the season that he had with all of the drama that surrounded that squad, and for them to still stick it out like that. Number 2, I'll go Herbert, and then number 1, I'll go Patrick Mahomes until he gets knocked off the podium. But guys, don't give me too much flack on the Russell Wilson because we're talking about. Well, no, I know, but I'm saying we're talking about tenths of a point.
Right.
Is the difference maker in all 4 of these guys.
I was going to say, you could, I mean, honestly, that's just their top. Like, putting somebody at number 4 in this division, they're probably still top 5 in the AFC, period.
Right. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D.
Exactly. It's not a disrespect thing. It's just literally a ranking.
All right, we got to go because I got to get Kyle Wright out of here. He'll be back for one more segment. We've got the NFC side of things coming up next.
Weather forecast overnight. The weather will settle down overnight. Mostly cloudy skies around 58. Southwest wind becoming northwest 10 to 15. A north wind at 10 miles per hour Friday, partly to mostly sunny in the mid-70s. Showers expected Saturday, clearing Sunday. You'll be in the 70s over the course of the weekend. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny. There's no event I love more than Sunday at the Masters. I have said this before, and I have been ridiculed for it, and I don't give a damn. If you told me I could only watch one day of sports the whole year, if you said, Greeny, we are taking your television away for 364 days, and you get to choose the one day you get to keep it, I would pick Sunday at the Masters.
Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let your spring adventure begin at Bill Byrne Kia. Stop by today to discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorrento. Bill Byrne Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillByrdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, and Sorrento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Byrne Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/4/22.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been in the Panama City area since 1989. They've been here longer than anyone else. The reasons? High quality, reasonable prices, and tremendous service. Stop by and see owner Jason Mulder and let him and his staff help you pick out the perfect building for your home or business. Just down from Harts Marine on North Highway 231. Online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. Member of the BBB. Bestway Portable Buildings. The best in portable, period.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. From Tyndall Air Force Base to the Hathaway Bridge. We are live and local. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are live inside of the Rib Crib Radio Room. Only 2 more segments to go. We've got the NIT Championship tonight between Xavier and Texas A&M. That's going to be, we'll get you to the coverage for that at 5:45. It's going to be a great ball game tonight. And then Friday, we'll have the women's Final 4 games for you. Saturday, we'll have the Final 4 games for you. Sunday, we'll have the Toyota Owners 400. And then following that, we'll have the Women's National Championship game Sunday evening as well. And then next Thursday, we've got the Braves taking on the Reds.
Yes,
home
sir.
opener. Game starts at 7 o'clock. And then is it Saturday or Sunday?
For the ring ceremony for the Reds?
Saturday. It's Saturday.
Saturday. I'll be there. Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, that is so cool that you get to go to the ring ceremony.
I get to
game,
go
bro.
watch them get their rings and then smother my team.
You never know, man. Who knows?
Let's go Reds. Let's go Reds.
See, look at the Astros fans just cheering for everybody but their own daggum team.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into ranking the NFC quarterbacks by division. Kyle, which way we're going to go in this one?
I think we're going to go east, north, south, and then the west because the west is still probably the hardest to rank.
So you said north first?
Yeah, let's go east first.
East first.
Let's go
East first. All right. So what you got for that?
I don't want to start this time.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'll go
Drew, you
last this time.
I'm shooting from the hip, so I like to hear how you guys got him. And then
Daniel Jones, number 4. Carson Wentz, number 3. Jalen Hurts, number 2. And Dak Prescott, number 1.
I feel like every single one in this segment is going to be an echo. Every single one is going to be an echo. So, yeah, whatever you just said. Daniel Jones, number 3. Carson Wentz, number 2 is going to be Jalen Hurts. Yeah, and then number 1, Dak Prescott.
It's close. 2 and 3 is close to me because I think Wentz has a shot to be a really good quarterback in that division.
He was there before now. He was there before. One thing, is it fair to say Carson Wentz was with the Eagles before?
Well, I'm saying with who's around him.
Gotcha. Is it fair to say that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback, Jalen Hurts is a better leader/winner?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where I went with mine.
Yeah, go ahead, get into it.
I went Danny Dimes, number 4, kind of becoming more of Danny Pennies. I got Jalen Hurts at number 3. I just want to see the game came down to him against the Bucs in the playoffs, and they got absolutely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Jalen Hurts take. Now, that's not necessarily on him. They got to get him some receivers. Devontae Smith is not going to be the number 1 receiver for the Eagles. Now, I do think he could be the best receiver on the Eagles.
Yeah.
But they need maybe they need Devontae Parker. They need a big guy.
Yeah.
You
That's a
have
good
to.
take. That's a hot take. It's a good take.
It's a good take. Like, I don't think if Devontae Smith is not the only receiver on that team, he'll be the best receiver on that team, if that makes sense. I've got Carson Wentz at number 2. He's a proven quarterback. I know he kind of struggled at the tail end of last year, but he was, until Jonathan Taylor finally decided to start taking off after the Derrick Henry injury, he was the only reason that the Colts were good for a while, and he had an MVP caliber season like 4 years ago before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott at number 1 it's simple there.
Yeah.
He's got the pieces around him. He's a gunslinger, and I'm not ringing the cowbell, but you get it.
Moving on for NFC North.
Yeah,
I've got Goff at number 4, Fields at number 3.
Golf fields. Old school would have slapped the crap out of me for saying, I'm going to the golf fields today.
You got Cousins at number 2 and Rodgers number 1.
All right, so
I just think Fields has more of an upside than Goff does. And not saying I think Goff is a good quarterback, but surrounded by what surrounds him in Detroit, I like I like Fields' legs element to him
I
a
see
little
that
bit
point.
better than Goff.
And he's got a new system around him now, so I wonder how much acclimation that will take. If we're basing this, and we're basing this for 2022, so for me, I would have Fields at 4, I would have Goff at 3, and then Kirk Cousins 2, and Aaron Rodgers at 1.
I've got Justin Fields at 4. I've got Jared Goff at number 3, Kirk Cousins number 2, Aaron Rodgers number 1. I do expect Kirk Cousins to take a big leap this year with the Vikings finally kind of trying to build a little bit of defense over there.
That was their problem last year. Yeah. Kirk Cousins had a pretty good year last year.
It's not Kirk Cousins' fault that the defense was terrible, and it's not his fault that Dalvin Cook's made of glass. He can't keep his running back healthy. I love the boy. You know,
as a Florida State guy.
I love him to death, but the dude can't stay. He couldn't stay healthy at Florida State. Now, when your number one dude's going down like that and it becomes a predominantly pass game, we all love Alexander Madison.
Yeah.
But he ain't Dalvin Cook.
He looks a lot like him. You can't say. But he doesn't play the same way.
I've gotten confused watching
it's
their
like
games.
You just got to watch their cleats at that point. When those two guys are like coming in and out for each other, just watch out for the cleats. The flashier ones are normally going to be on Dalvin Cook's feet. So I love that one. So let's move on to the South. Man, this is just the NFC is just like I just need to go out there to the garbage can and pick them out of there or something.
We could almost all go on these at the same time.
Darnold, Mariota, Winston, and Brady.
I've just got the 3 and 4 flip-flop once again. Mariota, Darnold, Winston, Brady.
Yeah, I'm right there because Mariota hasn't been a starting quarterback in a little bit now. Maybe it'll revamp because he's with his former tight ends coach and Arthur Smith, former OC. So maybe there's a relationship there that could be rekindled. But there is no one around him to do a daggum thing with.
To me, what put Darnold behind, what put Mariota above Darnold was Mariota is in the same breath as like a Teddy Bridgewater. He's not going to win you the game, but he's also not going to lose you the game. What got him in trouble in Tennessee was he was too conservative.
Yeah.
If he didn't like the throw, if he didn't think he can make it in his head,
he's pulling it down.
He's pulling it down, running, or he's throwing it away.
Yeah.
And that's what got him in trouble. And now he's just now getting
he could just throw it away every time because he has no one to throw to.
So
number one receiver Russell Gage.
But you've got
isn't he with the Bucks now?
I don't.
Russell, I'm pretty sure Russell Gage.
Oh my God!
But then you also look at Darnold. Oh, he will lose you the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he will.
I just think anytime that McCaffrey gets injured, that you just write the season off for the Panthers. I don't care who's at quarterback. Because whatever offensive coordinator they got going over there, they don't know how to change up the game plan once McCaffrey's gone.
There was a video I saw yesterday. It said, boy, Darnold throws a pretty spiral. And it was a perfect spiral. It was just right to a defender.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nuts, man, to think about. Because, like, that Panthers quarterback situation, they really do have some good offensive pieces over there if they can just get that filled. I mean, P.J. Walker, Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, they've just struggled to get that filled, man.
They had
I think we all had hope for P.J. Walker. Maybe not expectations, but hope coming from the AAF.
He hasn't looked bad. He hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just it. I don't know.
It's
every time he's played, though, McCaffrey's been out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you don't get the true judge of him. I had high hopes for Darnold. I mean, they started out 3-0 last year, and then
thought they were
short stint.
I thought they were the real deal with Darnold because he looked good. You can go back and listen to our sports show on Right On Sports Show. I legitimately was saying the Panthers might be the team to beat in the NFC, and then I fell flat on my face.
The reason why you couldn't get that out is because you tried to put Sam Darnold over Tom Brady.
Yep. All right. Let me get through my NFC West real quick.
Yeah.
Which one?
I've got two different rankings for my NFC West because it all depends on what the 49ers do.
Yeah.
And the only reason I made two rankings for this one instead of any other one is because the jump is literally huge for me. If Trey Lance is the starting quarterback for the 49ers in 2022, I've got number 4, Trey Lance, number 3, Drew Lock, number 2, Kyler Murray, number 1, Matthew Stafford. If Jimmy Garoppolo starts, it's a big jump. I've got Drew Lock, number 4, Kyler, number 3, Jimmy G, number 2, and Matthew Stafford, number 1. I think Jimmy Garoppolo gets the most unwarranted hate out of any quarterback in the NFL, worse off than Kirk Cousins.
Which is insane.
To
think about.
Yeah, it's bad. And Kirk's got that massive contract, and Jimmy's getting paid too, but he gets it bad. Like I think, and it's become this thing where everybody loves Trey Lance. They want to see him go North Dakota State. I mean, the story.
Yeah, they just do so great in the pros.
Yeah, right. You see it with Carson, right? But I just think that everybody wants to see that so bad that they want Jimmy G to fail. But the man's
the only quarterback with a winning record.
Look what he did with that team last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got a winning record. He's got a high winning percentage. Look at his touchdown interception ratio.
Look at those numbers. Then look at the first 10 weeks of the season and tell me where the San Francisco 49ers were going to land in the gauntlet of a NFC West, right?
Yeah.
And then where did they end up playing to?
Second place, baby.
I mean, that's just absolutely amazing.
Were they
man.
second place?
No,
they were third.
They were third place in their division, but they made it to the NFC Championship game against the Rams and were close to knocking them off.
A team that they beat twice in the regular season.
And to get into the postseason.
Exactly.
Jimmy G, Kirk Cousins, they are both what you would call game managers. And then you also look at who was a really good game manager of recent history. Eli Manning. He wasn't going to take the top off the defense. He wasn't going to be great.
Dookie.
2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I love Jimmy G. That being said, Drew Lock number 4.
What?
Jimmy G number 3, Kyler Murray number 2, and Matt Stafford number 1.
I'll go with Drew Lock number 4. Number 3 for me will be Kyler Murray. I don't think that DeAndre Hopkins is now Julio Jones.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Wow,
like where it's just be getting. He's not. Don't play him until week 8 or 9. You know what I mean? Let him just have a preseason. That lasts all the way up till week 9 or so. So I would go Kyler Murray number 3. Number 2, I would go Jimmy G because he gets the job done when it matters the most. And number 1 would be Super Bowl champion, defending champion, Matt Stafford. Kyle, anything before you get out of here, my dude?
Hey, guys, Right on Squared Circle. Go check it out tomorrow if you're a wrestling fan. Great podcast, great hosts. And I'll be back next Thursday getting ready to dice it up, baby. Reds, Braves next weekend.
Oh, my goodness, that's so exciting. Wait, when are y'all heading to Atlanta?
I'll be leaving Saturday morning. I haven't bought tickets yet.
Oh, might have to think about taking a trip to Atlanta, but gas is high. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Kyle's out for the day. It's me and Drew moving on.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show. Now, I don't know if Tiger can play Augusta and not play to win Augusta. Like, I don't know if he's wired that way. And, like, he doesn't have to prove himself anymore. And, you know, it's always, you kind of prove to yourself. Like, Tom Brady can't be the GOATer. He's the GOAT. Like, he can't be greater than what he is. He's already the GOAT.
Dan Patrick.
The Dan Patrick Show.
9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Anti-lock brakes, seat belts, and airbags. All ounces of prevention safety that equip today's cars. But when we come back, I'll tell you where there's a pound of cure, just in case you need it.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Today's technology-equipped cars are designed to prevent accidents. But when they happen, it's technology again, this time to the rescue. 1,000 cars in upstate New York are testing automated collision notification. This system uses in-vehicle sensors to detect a crash and then employs a satellite and cellular phone system to relate the severity and location of the accident directly to 911. After receiving this information, the operator then opens a voice line and dispatches emergency assistance. Wow, that sounds like 2 pounds of cure to me. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the last segment of the day. We're going to be getting you out here to the NIT Championship, 5:45 between Xavier and Texas A&M. Man, what a game that's going to be for the NIT Championship. Drew, who you got?
Aggies.
I think I'm going. They had
a crazy end to the season.
Yeah.
And being able to go
run.
all the way to the SEC championship game in the tournament and then being snubbed. Like, come on.
That's what I was going to ask. You kind of feel that it was snubbed. All right, real quick, let me run through some sports. We were going to talk a little Final Four, but I think that we're going to be heavy on the Final Four tomorrow. So I've got a question that I want to pose to you because you're in somewhat of a similar situation as Atlanta Braves fans.
Okay.
All right, high school baseball, Arnold over Bozeman 3-2. In high school softball, Holmes takes down Freeport 3-0. Niceville over Lincoln 5-3. Vernon over Poplar Springs with a score of 11-1. Liberty shuts out Graceville 8-0. Mariana wallops Walton 17-5. And Port St. Joe beats Leon by a score of 9-2. Earlier, Wright State Chris posted a comment in Facebook saying, when Freddie returns to Atlanta, which is going to be in June, will fans cheer or boo? I want you to answer that, but first, you guys just lost Carlos Correa. Now, obviously, it's not to the same degree as what losing. That would be like if you guys lost Altuve or if Verlander didn't re-sign with you guys. But he wasn't a lifer with y'all, you know what I mean? But y'all have had Jose his entire career, right? The entirety of his career, I believe.
Correa, yeah, we drafted both of them. Correa, we drafted him, I think, first overall back in 15, I want to say.
So with Correa, what's your outlook on that? Is it a cheer? Is it a boo? How do you feel about Carlos Correa now?
It's definitely interesting. Seeing it, I can't even remember the Twins. He went to the Twins, so
Yeah.
like if he would have gone to like the Dodgers or if he would have gone to the Yankees, like, oh yeah, I'm booing the crap out of him. But since he went to the Twins, just okay. Good for you, bud.
So you understand my frustration then a little bit with Freddie Freeman, and I think that as the day goes on, or not the day, but as days have gone on, I'm not as mad at him anymore. Not even mad at all. It's just like, I hope we play you guys in the playoffs so much. So my question to you is, when Freddie Freeman steps foot on Truist Field, what do you think happens? Is it cheers or boos? What's your opinion?
Boos.
Boos?
Because it's the same thing like what I just said with Correa. Like, you look at where he went to, arguably the biggest rival that the Braves have had in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boo the crap out of him.
See, that's what I would. I don't want to say want to happen. Here's what I think's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be accepting his ring there. So I think when he first steps on the field, when he first is accepting that ring and everything, I think he's going to get cheers.
Yeah.
I think he'll get cheers at other point in times during the season, but for the rest of that series, especially in that first game, his first at bat, I think you'll hear a lot more boos than you'll hear cheers.
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting with him going where he went to, going out to L.A. and then talking about what has come out in the weeks after, in the days after the him signing, how he felt offended by the Braves going to get Matt Olson. What are you talking about?
You gave the Braves 1 hour to accept one or two deals.
Exactly. Like, what were the Braves supposed to do? If the Braves wouldn't have done that, they wouldn't have had Matt Olson.
Yeah.
And like,
we'd be like Kyle brought up a great point. We'd be working with Luke Voigt now, more than likely. If we were to have been able to land him, which we lucked out. Now, I don't want to say lucked out. We double A'd out. Alex Anthopoulos, the great GM that he is, goes out and makes a move, and then the very next day signs him for 8 years for about the same amount that Freddie was wanting.
Yeah, and he's so much younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's a better hitter than Freeman was in his career.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I like that take. I want that take to absolutely come true. Give me a National League team. We've only got about a minute left here. National League team, American League team. Give me your World Series for 2022.
As much as I hate to say it, it's hard to bet against the Dodgers
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the Diamondbacks. maybe one of those
The
two.
Diamondbacks. What are you
not
seeing?
The Diamondbacks, the Giants.
Oh, the Giants. You think they can replicate the success that they had last year? That's been the biggest question for me this year.
I think the Giants this is a even year, so they might be able to put it together that like they did back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
And then looking at the American League, Astros, I'll let my homer come out. We replaced shortstop, but basically everything else is coming back.
Yeah. Who do y'all have playing at shortstop for you now?
A guy named Pena. I haven't looked into it as much as I probably should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's coming up from AAA from last year. So and then there were talks we might be in on Trevor Story, but he's already signed. So but it's this kid named Pena. But everything else is staying the same. Still have Brantley, Jordan, and I can't think of our center fielder right now. I'm just drawing a blank. You put me on the spot telling me we got 1 minute left.
I'm sorry about that, but we're out of that minute now, so it really doesn't matter. Hey, look, guys, Coach James Hill will be live at 7 a.m. Me, Adam Goff, and Caveman Rick, the Afternoon Underdogs, will be in here tomorrow, Friday, talking about Final Four and everything that comes along with it. We're out for today. Enjoy the NIT game coming up next.
About your past. I just want.
Weather forecast overnight. The weather will settle down overnight. Mostly cloudy skies around 58. Southwest wind becoming northwest 10 to 15. A north wind at 10 miles per hour Friday, partly to mostly sunny in the mid-70s.